Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV. I just picked up this new game controller from Logitech. This is called the PowerShell, and this is one of the first officially sanctioned game controllers for the iOS platform. Apple has finally come up with a protocol for developers to use. So these are not inexpensive. This controller is about $100. It does have a battery on board to charge the phone while you're playing, which I found to be a good little feature there, and you can turn that battery on with the switch here. I have found, though, is that it doesn't always respond to my switch going on. So sometimes it'll charge the battery like it's doing now. Other times you have to flick the switch a couple times before that battery will kick into action. It has a gamepad here. I actually found the gamepad to be decent. It's a little bit better than maybe some of the reviews I've read about it, so perhaps it's just a matter of preference, but I found the gamepad to be usable and very responsive, and it has even good diagonals. I'm going to show you how it game plays on it in a minute. Oddly, your switch to turn the phone on and off is here, so you just flick this switch up and that will actually push the button in when the phone is in the case there, so that's pretty neat. You have 4 buttons here, kind of in PlayStation and Xbox format or layout, and you have a pause button, and then on the top you have 2 shoulder buttons as well. On the back there's an indicator for when you turn the switch on, if your battery's in good shape, and mine is starting to die a little bit, so it blinks red a little bit at you. You have room for your camera if you want to take a picture. I don't think this really works well as a phone case because it makes your iPhone really large, but you can, I suppose, answer the phone if you have to without taking the phone out. It is easy to take the phone out. You just push in against the camera here, and most of the time it will pop your phone out and you can remove it. Now this only works with the iPhone 5S, the 5, and the iPod Touch that uses the Lightning connector. So this is the connector here, and you can see it moves a little bit, and that's how you're able to get the phone positioned in and out. It has a little adapter here for the iPod Touch because it is thinner, so you have to put that in if you're using the Touch, and that's could be something you could lose, so you may want to check with Logitech and see if you can get some extras. If you want headphone support, if you don't, and I would guess you could use a Bluetooth headset, which would solve this problem, but they did give a really odd-looking connector here that you can kind of stick inside the headphone jack here. It goes all the way back to your phone. And it does work, but it is a little bit of a weird thing to kind of walk around with this diagonally shaped headphone adapter cable. So let's take a look, though, at how games play on this, because that is why you would buy one of these controllers. Let's take a look. Okay, I loaded up Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and this is one of the games out there right now that supports the iOS controller format. I think it plays very nicely with this controller. The control pad, like I mentioned, has had some bad reviews, but I like it. I think it's very firm, it's very responsive. It's easy to know when you're getting into a diagonal that it actually, it almost clicks into place there. It feels really good, and I just like it, but again, it's a matter of preference. For games like this, the control pad is certainly really good, but for games that require thumbsticks, you might want to look at a controller that does that, and there are some that do both thumbsticks and control pads. So, you know, as a game controller, I think it's decent. You know, it's rather expensive, and I think that's something that you might want to wait a little bit before these controllers can get their price work down. This will also not work with the iPad, mainly because the iPad won't fit in it. So for me, I think I might look for something that has Bluetooth capabilities that also supports the iOS7 controller protocol, because I like to play games. If I do play games, a few opportunities that I do get, I like to play those on my iPad with the bigger screen and really work with it there. But it is nice to finally have a solution that is built into the OS, at least as far as its interface with the hardware, and that's a big improvement for Apple, because for so long we haven't had a viable controller protocol. We did have the iCade format, and I reviewed the iCade, I forgot which one it was, but one of the iCade controllers. You can check my channel for that. Which does work great, except a lot of games didn't support it because Apple didn't support the protocol. These will, of course, now work with most new games that come out. Some of the older games won't work with it, so you may have to take out the iCade for those when you want to do it. But overall, I think it's a decent controller if you can handle the $100 price tag. But if you can't, I would wait a little bit, because I am sure we will see much less expensive alternatives coming in the future. But I do believe they all have to pay the tax to Apple to have that, you know, certified iPhone compatibility. So we might be paying a little bit more of a premium for our iOS game controllers moving forward. So that is the PowerShell controller from Logitech, and I am Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.